The Committee for Dulles is a membership organization and we support Washington Dulles International Airport. Our mission is simple: to support the economic vitality and the needs of the Washington Dulles Airport, educate the committee, inform businesses and elected officials on the important role the airport plays in the region's economy, and to support federal, state, and local government policies that protect and encourage the growth of the airport operation. If you are not a member of Committee for Dulles, please take out your phones, go to committeefordulles.org and sign up now. Okay, I'm going to check everybody's phone at the end of this to make sure you sign up. All right? And so now to get into the formal portion of our event today, the logical intersections between tourism, business, regional, and economic growth are well proven. And so as good stewards of the relationship that we have with the local community and Dulles International Airport, we felt it was important today to talk about one of our economic drivers, which is tourism. So we got 3 experts in that field that represent the state and the localities, 2 of which, Fairfax and Loudoun counties, comprise the counties that serve as the home for Dulles International Airport. All right, so as I introduce you speakers, please come up and have a seat, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. So our first speaker will be Captain Jill E. Mills. Jill has been an airline pilot for 27 years, so he just came out of the womb and started flying planes right now. Perfect. She's been a chief pilot for United Airlines since January 2022. She is also a 737 line check airman since February of 2017 and has served as president of United's Bridge Business Resource Group since March 2021. Jill was appointed by Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin to serve on the Virginia Tourism Corporation Board of Directors, where she currently serves as the board's chairwoman. She graduated from Virginia Tech, go Hokies, with a bachelor's degree in business administration and marketing. Jill, come on up. All right, next is my friend Beth Erickson. Beth Erickson. Beth has been the president and CEO of Visit Loudoun, DC's wine country, since 2014. 2024 marks the 40th anniversary of Loudoun's wine industry. Since 1984, Loudoun's wineries, now numbering more than 50, have helped to define and shape Loudoun County. Today, Loudoun wine is recognized for its quality, while the elevated experience has led to Loudoun becoming a tourism and hospitality powerhouse. You hear that? Tourism and hospitality, not just data centers, in Virginia and the Mid-Atlantic area, making Loudoun #1 generator of visitor spending in the Commonwealth of Virginia. She's, excuse me.
To be Dulles.
Should be Dulles. She served the Commonwealth as the 2022 chair of the Virginia Restaurant, Lodging, Tourism, and Hospitality Association, and at the national international level, Beth serves on the Destination Marketing Association International Board of Directors and has been reappointed to the U.S. Travel Board of Directors.
That's way too long.
That's so much. And last and certainly not least is Barry Biggar. Barry has been president and CEO for Visit Fairfax since August of 2008. Since Barry joined Visit Fairfax, the tourism economy in Fairfax County has doubled, bringing well over $3 billion annually in tourism spending to Fairfax County businesses. These visitors to the Commonwealth contribute hundreds of millions in taxes each year that benefit our citizens and our businesses in the Dulles corridor and throughout the region. Hundreds of thousands of those visitors arrive and depart through Washington Dulles International Airport. Throughout his entire career, Barry has been a strong advocate for international visitors, supporting the pursuit of those international markets and primarily benefit our international airport at Dulles. Barry was also the 2024 recipient of the Committee for Dulles' Tower of Dulles Award. Barry, So long. Thank you. Thank you. So, I'm going to give each one of our speakers a moment to talk about their experiences in tourism here in Virginia, the connection or the importance of the airport, and what your outlook on the future is and how communities can help to keep that going. So Beth, since you're right here.
Oh, wow.
You're right here. And you it's tricky. That's a little curveball.
There you go.
Let me get you back.
Check to see if the mic is on, Brandon. I don't know if that one is.
What was the question again? I was assuming it was going Captain Mills.
You thought you didn't have to do your homework. That's right. So
Talk about the
tell us about your
whole-
experiences in tourism here in Virginia, particularly around Dulles. What the significance is of Dulles to your tourism, and what can we do to keep this thing going?
Fantastic. Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you so much for having us. I will say that we have got two incredible things that are happening right here that really do create that economic impact that we're discussing. First of all, we have the great fortune of the incredible Virginia is for Lovers brand, and we have Rita McClenny, who's the head of Virginia Tourism Corporation right here, and Heidi right there. And without, I think, the brand of Virginia is for Lovers, which is one of the most recognized international travel brands, we are very, very, very fortunate here in Virginia. And then more locally, between Barry and myself in terms of Fairfax and Loudoun, for us to have Dulles International Airport. So when we talk about Loudoun being, the #1 generator of visitor revenue in the Commonwealth of Virginia, that really is stemming from the airport. Probably about 70% of that revenue is generated right here at the airport. So the strength of the brand, the strength of partnerships, the strength of our individual destinations, and why they are unique and why they draw people into Loudoun or into the Northern Virginia region, it is a recipe for success. And so I think as we go through and kind of share a little bit about each of what we do in the pieces in the puzzle, I think that's going to come through. But for us to have the diversity of product, when we talk about Loudoun County, and I know we discussed the DC's Wine Country brand, and really what we've been seeing from a craft beverage standpoint, we know is a great attractor to not only residents, but to people throughout the region, throughout the country, and internationally. So you lead with your strengths, and we have so many strengths right here in this room that it kind of makes it easy, but we would never say that it's easy.
No.
But it is a great pleasure. And then I will also say, because I would be remiss if I did not, we also have incredible partners with economic development, and then Tony Howard with the Loudoun Chamber. We have got, again, those contributors to success that is absolutely fantastic.
Where are we going next?
Oh, great. Oh, I have something to say. I'll say it later.
So Captain Mills, same question, a little bit of a different flavor since you represent one of our largest airline partners in United, but also the state for tourism. So how critical is it that tourism remain a part of the economic growth of the region and of the state?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and it's nice to see some familiar faces out there, and look forward to talking to more of you and getting to know a lot more about what this committee does, and I think I'm going to learn just as much as hopefully I can share. But we're talking about three of my favorite things today, for sure. Tourism, United Airlines, and Dulles. That's where I work. So just a little bit of update on my resume. I think that was when I started with VTC, and I've been flying the 777 for the past 2.5 years. I'm a captain on the 777, and I have, in the last few weeks, became the former chief pilot for Washington. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about that announcement. It's part of what we do. We rotate out, and just gives a little more time for exciting things like this. So what we do together is amazing. I think that's one of the things that I've witnessed the most in the last 4 years. Been with VTC for a little over 2, and the chairperson only for a little over, I think, coming up on a year. But it's the partnerships. It's the partnerships with the corporations and the communities and the people and all the work that you guys are doing, that it's a symphony that comes together so well. And to watch it and to see the growth in the area is incredible. I think on behalf of the governor, he sees so much in the abundance of Virginia. He sees so much in the ability of what we all can do together. It's fun to be a part of all of that. And I'm looking forward to a great conversation with you. We don't have a lot of speeches. We just want to get questions from you. So looking forward to that a little later on. Now I'll hand it to the Rose.
Great, how about the Rose? Yeah, I was going to say I'm the thorn between two roses, but thank you very much. Well, very good afternoon, everybody. Delighted to be here and truly honored to be back with the Committee for Dulles. As it relates to Dulles, I have always said, and I will continue to say, it's a Commonwealth airport. When you look at the international visitation that comes into that airport from some 80 plus direct flights to destinations around the world daily, the amount of international visitation is significant, and it does stay here, but more importantly, it travels the Commonwealth. So this airport is critical to tourism, it's critical to economic development, it is critical to the district, to parts of Maryland. Dulles Airport is a gem that when I first came here and landed in Dulles, I went, wow, this is incredible. And then when I learned more about it, I'm going, the area that truly benefits from this great airport is this corridor. 2 counties, Loudoun and Fairfax. Loudoun sees the lion's share of the revenue from this airport because Fairfax County has the runways. If you don't have runways, you're not going to do very much in the terminal. But this whole area has grown significantly since I came in. And I look very closely at occupancy in hotels. Dulles Corridor is surpassing Tyson's. It's surpassing Reston. When I came here, nobody touched Tyson's. And Reston was very close second. Dulles Corridor now is one of the highest occupied hotels in this entire area. That says a lot. But this airport doesn't only serve travel and tourism and hospitality, but it also serves many other industries around this area. We can never lose sight of that. And to Beth's point, the partnerships, the collaborations with chambers, economic development authorities, convention and visitor bureaus is actually very critical to ensuring the success of every industry we have here. Travel and tourism is an amazing thing. They come, they leave money, and they go home. And they don't ask for more police, better roads, more teachers. But let's not lose sight of the fact that when we travel, that's exactly what they're thinking. They come, they leave money, and they go home. But it's a sustained industry, it's a green industry, not only related to the money it generates, but related to the environment. And when you look at Dulles and this corridor, we're about to get a United Airlines flight training center. That's huge. It's great for United, it's great for the airline industry, but it's great for tourism and hospitality as well. When I look at the solar that is being put up at Dulles, I'm going, that is remarkable. We're on the leading edge. And I still contend to this very day, Dulles International is the only airport in the United States that has gates that aren't being fully utilized. What does that mean? If there is an airport in this country who will grow and bring in more international planes, it's Dulles. I think you're operating at 65% of capacity. Any other airline any other airport in this country, if they wanted to bring in an additional carrier, they would have to give up a gate that somebody already occupies. That's our future. And that's what Dulles does for all of us.
Wow, so you can all go home now. But along that vein of growth, we know that in 2024, and the numbers aren't quite out yet, but Dulles has experienced unprecedented growth, the addition of multiple new carriers, new routes, and things like that. In relation to tourism, what opportunities are they driving Fairfax, Loudoun, in the state of Virginia? What opportunities are they looking to spur for you guys to create for the local businesses to take advantage of the green opportunities?
Great. Well, currently the international market, or recently the international market, was very much service marketed and promoted through an organization called the Capital Region USA. We have an amazing opportunity in front of us that will begin July 1st through the Virginia Tourism Corporation. When you're selling tourism, you have to sell many components. And Virginia always has to be first. And with a slogan, a marketing tagline like Virginia's for Lovers, who has a space on the advertising Walk of Fame in New York, and a brand that has existed for well over 40 years, that's something we have to capitalize on. We also need to ensure that Virginia is in country in international markets around the world. Virginia, not the DMV, Virginia. It has to be our number one consideration. These type of changes that we're going to experience, and VTC is extraordinary for doing this, will make a significant impact on international visitation in the future. And when you look at the product that is around this airport, particularly in Loudoun, certainly in Fairfax County, we have the motivators that international visitors want. And those motivators we have are in spades. We have so much here that the international market wants. That is something else we've been capitalizing on and will continue to, because the development in this area is extraordinary. When you look at hotels just in Reston down the road from the Dulles corridor, you're introducing 4 new hotels into that space. That tells us growth is afoot. We have a lot of work to do to fill that space. So the future, VTC is a leader. We, as individual destinations, have to be behind them 100%. When you have a carrier like United, who announced their major expansion of flights internationally will take place here in Dallas. I don't know about you, but I get very giddy. I get very happy. So I hope that's answered the question.
I'll just talk a little bit about the growth. So clearly, we're hitting records across the board. The announcement of 8% growth in passengers. We went from 25 million to up to 27 million over a year period. We broke the record that was set in 2005. That's a long time ago, but it's just growing. We're growing at 5%. It's been slated 5% a year until 2030, and I think we could already add on to that beyond. The partnerships are huge, and the partnership of building a new terminal that comes with MWA and the task force, United Airlines, of course. I mean, that's $500 million that's going in there. It's a phased in. I think pretty much everybody in this meeting knows what we're doing. We're doing tier 2, the tiered approach to it. The first one has 14 gates. I personally like that they can be converted to 7 international gates. That's huge. Anything that's going international for me, especially as a 777 captain that flies international, we get giddy. We get giddy because we get to go to the coolest of places. We announced 13 new destinations last year, and we've already announced 4 for this year, which is huge. We have so much growth in this area. $16 million in our flight attendant training facility. And that's a huge thing. We're going to train our flight attendants up and down the East Coast. They don't have to fly down to Houston. They won't have to fly out to Denver. Those dollars won't be going to those other cities and states. They're going to stay right here in Virginia. What we're going to give to the customers is huge. We're putting in an entire new premier first class club, in addition to a lot of amenities for customers. So I think that our all-in attitude towards Virginia and towards I'm switching hats. I keep going back and forth. On behalf of United, our all-in commitments to how we're growing is huge. And I would say it's really interesting to be in different rooms because I've listened and heard Governor Youngkin also talking about we're all in. And of course he's in, he's our governor, but he is so proud of what we're doing, and he sees that there's so much room to grow, and that he is behind, supporting each of the entities that are in this room that are making all these things happen.
So I'll just add a couple of thoughts on that. One of which is there are a lot of tools that we have in our toolbox that we use to really help to create demand for what's happening at Dulles, and demand for our partners, and demand for the creation of that economic engine. So from the top level, we certainly partner, again with U.S. Travel and Destinations International. But there is an amazing conglomerate of folks who have been working together for about 25 years called the Northern Virginia Tourism Partnership. So it's Arlington, Alexandria, Fairfax, Prince William, and Loudoun. And we partner together to market and brand and drive demand for Dulles and for our region. And it's one of the most unusual partnerships in the fact that we understand that it is truly lifting all boats. So a group may come in and they may stay in Fairfax, they may stay in Loudoun, but really what we recognize is international visitors, when they come for 10 days. So as much as I would love for them to spend 10 days in Loudoun County, I don't think that's going to happen. So we need to create that product, the ability to move people around and to really answer a lot of the need and what they're interested in. And again, VTC has been a huge partner in that. Our focus has been very direct and very, very, very successful over the last 20, 25 years. And I think that that's incredible. Another toolbox that we have, and I know Barry has, and I do as well, and it started with Scott York when he was chairman of the Board of Supervisors here in Loudoun, is really a very focused international development program that we do with economic development. And Barry touched on it a little bit in the fact that what we see here in this region that benefits us all is not seen in regions across the country. The fact that we work as closely as we do with our economic development offices, the fact that we work as closely as we do with our state really benefits everybody. So when we look at Loudoun County, we have about 5 to 7, I just did my math, of sister county relationships, which allows us to go in market from an economic development standpoint. The fact that economic development recognizes that the first date of economic development is tourism. So that allows us a seat at the table. It allows us to help really talk about the high quality of life that they find in this region because of tourism. So it's a really extraordinary partnership and a relationship that benefits everybody in this room that I know we are all very, very proud of.
Yeah. If I could ask, tourism in the Commonwealth is well over $30 billion. Northern Virginia alone represents about 42% of that total. So when you look at a driver of tourism, Northern Virginia is in that seat. And what we do here will benefit everyone, not only around us, but throughout.
That's the mic drop moment.
You keep giving me these things that I have to follow with more
I know,
questions.
good luck.
Just- I'm gonna try that. Okay, so curveball. So thinking of all these economic drivers and the growth and the value and things like that, one thing that constantly changes is our reliance on technologies. So with the increased reliances on AI, automated systems, robotics, things like air taxis, electric aircraft, and things like that, how will those growths in business impact and change the way that we do tourism?
Well, I think that I think AI is going to be and will continue to be a really big part of how people search for information, how they get information. And I think that as we look at the development of those itineraries, the development of really what happens and what that experience is, because when you come down to it, it is going to be about the experience and delivering on the promise of the brand when they get to your destination. And so when we look at new areas of technology, one of the things, the ease of travel, the frictionless aspect of travel is only going to benefit that process and the ability to move people through. And when we see what's been happening with, the improvement in TSA, the improvement in the ability to get visas, the improvement of being able to get through global entry, we are making it easier and faster and more efficient to get those people into our destinations to, as my colleague Barry says, leave their money behind and walk away with remarkable experiences.
Yes, and memories.
Well, I'll speak about AI on a different level. I will say from my perspective as a pilot, it's all good. I think I equate automation and what we're bringing into the industry with safety, and our entire world is about safety and keeping. I know a lot of people have questions about our safety right now, but I assure you it's still safer than driving to the airport, as we all know. Social media seems to want to do different things with that. Anyway, we have, I would say, automation, as simplistic as helping us taxi from the gate out to the runway. It's more automated now than it's ever been, and it's getting more automated. I would say automation on our baggage system to bring bags, and why you're not losing as many bags as at once. 20 years ago, it was sort of a hit or miss thing. It's all automated now. AI is generating that. Bringing in some of the other investments is a huge automated baggage system into Dulles, which a lot of you know, as Dulles was built layer upon layer of layers, that there are many airlines that had input which wasn't always identical, but what we're trying to do is update and automate what was given to us, which is a really good thing for customers. But on the other side, I will go back to Virginia Tourism Board, I've seen automation in the way marketing is done, in the way the data sourcing is utilized to understand the market, understand what people are looking for when they come, how to help them understand leaving Northern Virginia and going and seeing the rest of our beautiful state. And those things are gonna make it better. Those things are gonna make it safer. And I just see a lot of promise with it.
Technology has driven so much change for the last decade plus that every month that goes by, technology continues to change things. In many ways, to the better. In some ways, not so much. But we were on a call this morning with India. We're going to do a mission through BTC with India. On that call, the team there said, digitization, that's how the Indians are buying their travel. And if you do not go into that market with your marketing pieces and your visitor guides in a digital format, you're probably going to lose out. No question about it at all. So that's just one market. And it's a market that many would not think would be a good market for the USA. It is now the second largest international destination to the United States of America. When you see 48% growth of that market alone over the course of a year, we're talking about millions of travelers. So technology is driving what's going on there. But then you look at what we do, and I'm sure all of us here have noticed a significant change from how much we used to print that we no longer do. I look at trade magazines every single month, and they're shrinking drastically. And that's another sign that technology is going to be critical. It has been, will be, and even more critical as the future goes on. Because when you look at the generations of today, not old people like me, but these people know nothing different than that technology. That's going to drive it. And AI, I'm not 100% sure it's quite ready to utilize as a marketing tool. But in other ways, like Captain described, absolutely. So technology is amazing. And when you think about it, CIT was built for the Center of Information Technology. When you look at the fact that this county, Fairfax, has 9,800 IT companies, we are going to be on not the bleeding edge, but the leading edge related to adapting this change and making it work for us.
Excellent, and thank you so much for all of those fine points.
I'm gonna just add one
Yes,
point,
please.
is that AI will not replace two pilots. I know that is.
Absolutely.
Not my lifetime.
Nor will it replace the experience that they get when they get here.
Right.
And I think that's important.
Thank you so much. And so now we've reached our question and answer portion. So if you have any questions for these fine folks up here, please raise your hand and let's get going. Yes.
There was a reference early on to the disparity in hospitality between the Dulles Corridor and Reston and Tyson's. I'm not sure I fully absorbed that. Could you expound on that?
Yeah, sure. What I was talking about there was hotel occupancy. And at one point over the years, no one in this county would beat out Tyson's related to the hotel occupancies and the rates that they were getting. Reston followed very closely with number 2. We measure this entire county in 6 different regions. Tyson stands alone, Reston stands alone, Dulles Corridor stands alone, and then the other areas around the county. The Dulles Corridor, every month for probably the last 10 or 12 that I looked at, has always beat out Tyson's and Reston related to hotel occupancy and the rate charge. That's what I meant. Is that cleared up a bit?
Yes. Does it have anything to do with per diems or government contractor rates, or has that?
Right. Well, a lot of it does have to do with results following that P word. And that was business travel fell considerably. Business travel still is not up to where it was pre-pandemic, at least in our area. There's several areas across the U.S. where it surpassed it, but we haven't gotten there yet. The second market that suffered the most was international. We're not going to be where we were pre-pandemic in the international arena for at least another year. That is what I thought in December. I'm sitting here in February, and this region, is getting certain press across the world that could impact us again in similar ways to the time we were all at home, sheltering in place. So some of it has to do with lower business travel, lower international travel, and that's where Tyson's really did, perform. But people are now realizing there are other areas in this county that are equally as beautiful, as nice, and provide great choice. The Dulles Corridor is one.
So, and the Dulles Corridor to be defined is going to be both sides of Route 28. So both Fairfax County, Loudoun County, coming up the Dulles Toll Road as well into Loudoun. So it is and we as well look at 2 different areas within our county because it is a kind of a little bit of an ecosystem all on its own.
Excellent. Another question?
I'll ask.
Scott?
Just quickly too, Captain Mills, your favorite route?
Ready for it?
Well, we have a couple coming up that I can't wait to go to Venice or Nice. They're coming up. I'm super excited about that. My hidden gem favorite route, and it has a lot of reasons behind it for pilot reasons, is Brussels. It's a hidden gem. It's easy in and out, and it's gorgeous. It's just beautiful.
Wonderful. I just, last question, as Committee for Dulles, how can we help in your story?
Well, I think you have done immeasurable things to already help us out. I think the fact that you are constantly looking forward and moving things ahead that otherwise could have been delayed. To ask me what more can you do, I have to ask you what more is there to do? Because you have, as a committee, as an entity, moved this corridor into directions that are very favorable. And what this committee has done to support Dulles as an airport has certainly contributed greatly to the success of that airport. So it's a tough question to answer, Chairman, because what you do so very well, and you don't seem to stop. So if there's something that I find in the future where I'm going, where the heck is the committee for Dulles on this, I'll let you know. But so far, I haven't been in that position.
Excellent. Marcia, do you have a question?
We recently had presentations by a drone company which brought up the vertical helicopters. How will that help our tourism, and will it bring more companies to our area?
I'm going to let Captain Mills first start on that. Well, from an airport perspective, because I do think that I saw that presentation as well, and I thought it was phenomenal and very exciting, very interesting, but clearly also multi-layered. So I want to start first with an aviation thought.
On the business side, I'm gonna let them answer all of it, and I think it's all good. All I see is we need to regulate it so it's safe, period. And there's a lot going on behind the scenes on how we're gonna do that. And it's 100% about keeping every single person that's in the air, period, and that it's safe. And there's a good amount of work to do to make sure.
Well, I'm truly excited because our presentation in that company was only one of two that were approved to continue to move forward with this whole opportunity. So we're starting out in the right place because several companies were looking into doing it. But so far, there's only two that have been given sort of a head nod. As it relates to travel and tourism and the people that are coming in, this is going to be an ideal situation for those who live here, who do business in New York or Philadelphia, because that is another means of getting there. And the reverse is true. The amount of New Yorkers that come in here for business reasons is quite amazing as well. So this is an opportunity that I believe will grow and will help with tourism. I think as a result, Amtrak might be a little upset because they may lose a ridership. But you know, it's a great opportunity. It's an exciting technology and one that many have embraced. But I am 100% with Captain Mills on this. It has to be safe. It has to be tested. It has to go through what the airlines have to go through. And I'm pretty sure it will. I hope it will. And I also hope that that service starts within the next 2 years, because I will certainly take the opportunity of using it. That's for sure.
I'll just add, we have huge partnerships with a lot of, with everybody in this room for tourism. We also have partnerships for safety with the FAA. The tower here, Potomac, for the local area, they're very involved in the research and understanding of that. We're actually invested in it. We believe it's going to happen, and we believe that it's going to be good. We just want it to take all the necessary steps to make sure it's safe. So it's very much encouraged. We're excited. Yeah.
I'll have great dialogue today. My question is related more specifically to workforce. So I'm hearing some awesome buzzwords. You guys are using things like expansion and growth. What do you specifically anticipate seeing in this area related to workforce growth? And what are those projections? And then what challenges do you anticipate facing with actually fulfilling those open jobs?
So in 2023, the last time it was announced, $33 billion in tourism. That generated 224,000 jobs just specifically to tourism and the support of it. So that was in 2023, those numbers.
Yeah.
Those exponentially increased, and the jobs, I mean, that is one of Governor Youngkin's, main priorities right now. And what we bring to the table via tourism and the partnership between the airports and everybody that's working on it is huge. So in 2023, 220, I would imagine with growth being 5% per year and the growth that we've already had, it's going to be exponentially high. We can't guess with the numbers, but I think I assure you, for us, spending $16 million on a facility is going to bring in a lot of jobs. And we're excited about those jobs, and we're excited about the tourism that it's also going to bring in. We're going to be using hotels. We're going to be eating out. It is a big win-win. But that's a very small nugget compared to what the folks flying in internationally. Our growth at United Airlines is 70% international. That's huge. And those folks are going to bring in the need for additional jobs. So.
Right now, and for the last 3 years, labor and the workforce has been a critical issue to our industry. You can talk to hotels, and hotels will tell you they don't necessarily have all of the staff they need. You go to restaurants, that holds true as well. So we've had this issue, but many organizations have been working to change it. Now, within our industry, we also rely greatly on temporary work visas. And we have just learned recently that those could very much be in jeopardy. So you take a shortage of labor that we're currently in this industry, and you put on top of that our ability not to be able to bring in workers that we need during peak hours, your question is going to take a few years to totally answer and to get us where we are. And technology in some ways can help that. I mean, I've been in hotels where the robot cleaner has been going around. I've been in restaurants and bars where robots are delivering your cocktails. So things like that will certainly help us to get over this. But our labor situation today is not rosy, that's for sure. And I'm never going to sugarcoat it, because it's something we all have to think about. The last thing I'm going to say on this is the general belief is that our industry is low-paying jobs. Not at all true. Now, maybe you add fast food, okay, but you get into restaurants beyond that, these people are earning not only minimum wage, but tips and gratuities on top of that. So it's not a low-paying industry, and 56% of CEOs of major corporations began their career path in the hospitality industry. So it's an industry that doesn't only provide the economy great things, but those who work in it are learning skill sets and knowledge that will keep them going and growing. So thank you for the question. If you have any immediate answers to it, please give us a call. We'd love to hear from you.
I just want to add on that just very quickly. Show of hands, how many of you have worked in the hospitality field? There you go. How many of your kids have worked in the hospitality field? Okay. So I think one of the short answers on that, and I love how proud you just raised your hand on the kids working in the hospitality field. Well done, you. So, and I will raise my hand on both of those. Again, I think when we look at labor issues, I think a lot of it is awareness. One of the things that I've often said is, our jobs, my job is making tourism visible. And not everybody understands the importance of these jobs and the role that they play in building our communities and building our economies. So I know that we are coming to the end of our time together, and I'm actually kind of surprised that nobody has asked questions about the challenges on the horizon. And I think we have some challenges on the horizon. And I hope that everything will level out. And I hope that, as we move forward, but I just saw some international data that was talking about multiple scenarios for growth could range from nationally, from a 6% increase, which aligns very closely to the 5% that the captain just mentioned, to an 8% decrease. That's a wide swath. And so I think as we continue to be very aware of the role of this industry, we become very aware and acutely aware of the importance of travel and tourism for our region and for the Commonwealth of Virginia. I think we just need to keep a very steady eye on what we're seeing from a data standpoint and as we move forward.
Thank you so much, Beth, Barry, and Jill. We appreciate your time, and thank you for sharing with us. Mark, would you come on up for our raffles as you guys make your way back to your seat?